part of the country and not in another. Right to free conscience is a fundamental right in India, which means individuals can choose their fate, provided it's a completely free choice that the individuals make, a choice which is beyond any kind of coercion or any kind of allurement that they have got.
सरकार पार्लियामेंट में एक अलग से कानून बनाए, नहीं तो इंडियन पिनल कोड का जो चैप्टर 15 है, चैप्टर 15 ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू रिलीजन, उसको अमेंड करे, उसमें 2 नई धारा जोड़े। जब तक विदेशी फंडिंग नहीं रुकेगी, हवाला की फंडिंग नहीं रुकेगी, एफसीआरए की फंडिंग नहीं रुकेगी और धर्मांतरण कराने वालों की 100% प्रॉपर्टी जब्त करने और 10 से 20 साल की सजा देने के लिए कानून नहीं बनेगा, तब तक धर्मांतरण नहीं रुकेगा।
Number 6 of this affidavit seems the most important. It says it is submitted that the right to freedom of religion does not include a fundamental right to convert other people to a particular religion. The said right certainly does not include the right to convert an individual through fraud, deception, coercion, allurement or other such means. The meaning and purport of the word propagate falls under Article 25 of the Constitution.
So what does the Union government say in its affidavit before the Supreme Court of India about forced conversions? What is their view? Let's have a look one by one. First of all, they agree that this is a serious issue and the definition is quite broad. Forced conversion offence Article 14, 21 and 25, equality, right to life and the freedom to practice your own religion and the freedom to conscience. Right to religion is not right to convert other people. Right to propagate your religion is not the right to convert them to your faith. Curbs are needed for protecting vulnerable sections of the society. That's what they have said. States have passed enactments to curb forced conversions. There are multiple states across the country that have passed particular laws when it comes to religious conversions in the country. What is it that the Supreme Court has observed? There was a brief hearing that happened. We're likely to see more hearings in the future. But what have they said so far? Now, Centre's affidavit, as we pointed out, Union of India is cognizant of the gravity of the issue. Forced religious conversion is a very serious issue. The Supreme Court is aware of that. There are various concerns that have been raised in that public interest litigation as well that has been filed by Ashwini Upadhyay. The Supreme Court also says that forced religious conversions affect national security as well, especially in the border areas. We have shown you multiple ground reports where there is a systematic conversion that happens in border areas, and that's a concern that the local governments have had. Public order, a state subject, may have passed enactment. The state order, law and order, remains a subject under the state list if you look at the constitutional setup. Centre also says that enactments are necessary for protecting the cherished rights. Issue affects the freedom of religion and conscience, the Supreme Court observation. Those are the two sides of the argument. Government must list out steps to curb such forced conversions. And as I said earlier, the Union government has said that this needs to be taken in all seriousness and appropriate steps are going to be taken in on that. Is it time for a law at a national level? Is it time for a national law on a matter like this? I open this debate to all our guests who are joining us on the broadcast. Abbas Haider, who's the spokesperson of the SP, Mazhar Sharif, who's the leader of AIMIM, Ashwini Dubey, who's an advocate at SC, Tushar Gupta, who's a senior editor at the Swaraj magazine, is also joining us on the broadcast. And we are also expecting Vikram Singh, the RSS thinker, to join us in just a bit from now. Ashwini ji, I want you to open the debate for us. The right to practice your own religion and the freedom of conscience is a fundamental right. But the right to practice and propagate your religion does not mean your right to convert. Can we argue in India that any kind of allurement given, say of education, better life, even spiritual growth, can they all be covered under the umbrella of forced conversions?
Yes, that is what the forced conversion means, the conversion which is not permitted under the law. We have 8 states which have anti-conversion laws. The definition, the forced conversion includes the conversion by allurement, conversion in order to give some benefit, be it the monetary benefit or any other benefit, conversion by way of healing anything, conversion in lieu of giving money, and what exactly in Sarla Mudgal's case, it was decided by the Supreme Court that deceitful religious conversion includes any conversion which is being done without the free will of the person concerned. Now, the very categorically you have said the constitution, the conversion jurisprudence in India, there is landmark judgments, unanimously 5 judges bench judgment authored by Justice A.N. Ray, passed in 1977 while upholding the legislative mandate of Madhya Pradesh legislature passing a law to restrain the conversion which was taking place in lieu of Article 25. What the Supreme Court beautifully said, and you just referred also. Supreme Court said the right to propagate one's religion does not give you right to convert.
Yeah.
Right to propagate a religion means that you have right to profess, practice और उसके प्रचार करने की आजादी, that you can discuss about it. Now, Law Commission of India, let's talk about the statutory bodies. Law Commission of India in its report number 235, which says that the conversion and reconversion to another religion, after considering several judgments of the Supreme Court, different high courts, and after taking the statistics from all over the country, Law Commission says that the converting into Hinduism, no specific ceremony, documentary, and evidence is required. But converting from Hinduism to any other religion, there is a need to follow the process of law. Now, 8 states, I don't want to go into that, 8 states where the definition differs from one to the other, which talks about the voluntary conversion and the conversion which is not of the free choice, and which is the forceful conversion by undue influence and inducement.
Yeah, now, but the fact, Ashwini ji, that the definition of what is a forced conversion and what is a conversion out of a free will, that remains a contested one. I want to bring in other guests as well into the discussion. Abbas Haider from the Samajwadi Party is also with us on the broadcast. Abbas ji, when the union government says that conversions in this country are a serious issue, and of course, we are not talking about conversions which come from free will, where people choose their faith. They are born into a certain faith, but they like the tenets of other religion and they want to go into it. We're talking about conversions that happen because of allurement of money, education, better lifestyle, or the marginalized communities are targeted by certain organizations, or, you know, some people who are out on a mission. Those are the sort of conversions that the union government says, that the petitioner in the Supreme Court says should be taken care of. How do you see the response of the union government?
First of all, the plea which has been filed by a BJP leader, it clearly says that there is a rampant, deceitful and fraudulent religious conversion across the country, and the union government has failed to control its menace. So this is what the plea has said, which is apparently filed by a BJP leader. Now the problem is, now after 2 weeks, when the union government has filed its affidavit in the Supreme Court, it has just given motherhood statement, nothing more than that. You know, the union government has clearly stated in the affidavit that this is a state subject. So in any case, they are not going to come up with a law.
But they also said, sir, that this is a serious issue. They also said that.
This is what the Supreme Court has said earlier. No. So I think
I have read that affidavit, sir. In that affidavit, they do say that this is a state subject, as you're pointing out. But they also say that this is a serious issue, and we are looking at various aspects of it as to what can be done in the future. They do talk about it.
To be precise, union government has said that it is important to protect vulnerable section of the society.
Yes.
So this is just another motherhood statement. I want to know what is the stand of the union government, because BJP spokesperson, they're not coming on debates on this issue. They are not clearing their stand. So Bharatiya Janata Party, they just want to divert public attention from pressing issues to such issues. See, first of all, this is a social issue. No political party has got anything to do with it. One thing. Second thing, see, any religious conversion which is forceful is, first of all, no religion permits it. It is prohibited in every religion. Secondly, it is a crime as per the law of the land. So first of all, I totally agree that any person who is propagating somebody, who is pursuing someone to forcefully convert to a religion, he is doing an illegal act
Abbasji,
that
do
should be
you
punished.
believe
That should be punished
that any kind of
according to the
conversion
law
which
of the
is
land.
done, say for better education, for a better lifestyle, for monetary benefits, is that kind of religious conversion permitted under any law?
See, I strongly believe that it is the responsibility of the government to provide basic education, food to every citizen.
No.
Now, if somebody if somebody is allured for such thing, I don't think it shows the failure of the government.
Yes,
One thing.
it
Second
does
thing,
show the
if it
failure
is-
of the
if-
government,
if
but my
it is
question was something
unlawful-
else.
No, if it is unlawful according to the law of the land, it is unlawful.
Do you
for
think
every
a law
citizen.
like this should be
Doesn't
made?
matter.
Do you think a law like
But-
this should be made?
So this should be asked from the BJP spokesperson.
No, of
This
course,
should be
I would
asked
love
from
to have
Bharatiya
asked this from the
Janata Party.
BJP spokesperson, and I would love to know this from the
But
Union of
why are-
India. I am asking this to you as a responsible political person in a public domain.
See, as a responsible citizen, I can clearly said that the Union government has cleared this stand. They have said they are not. They
Okay,
are
you have not
going
answered
to come
my
up with a
question.
law.
I want to
No,
go to
I'm clearly
Tushar
answering
Gupta
it.
as well.
When
I
the
want
Union government has said that they are not coming up with a law, they have not drafted any law. And another thing, the petitioner in this case, he sought a direction from the Supreme Court to the Law Commission. But has the Supreme Court given direction to the Law Commission to come up with a report on this issue? No, it has not given a direction to the Law Commission. And as far as
the matter is
2010,
still going on, but you have not answered my question. Tushar Gupta, I'm coming to you. Tushar, and there's a point that Abbas has, that if there are certain basic facilities that to the marginalized communities of this country have not reached even after 75 years of independence, and if there are certain groups that go to them and promise them these benefits, and perhaps these communities convert, the bigger failure is on the part of the government. Instead of talking about religious conversions, we should talk about the lack of basic amenities and a basic good life that does not exist for most people in this country. Tushar.
But good evening, Anusha.
Good
You know, it's good we are having this debate finally, because in the garb of politics, we all were denying that the forced conversions were going on the ground. Suddenly, everyone used to say, oh, it's about Hindu nationalism. Oh, it's about hunting down the minorities of India and so on. But thankfully, we're having this debate. Now, to answer your question, see, you cannot link it with the facilities the community has. I'll give you the example of Punjab, which News 18 itself has documented in a very elaborate fashion, more than any other channel. In Punjab, you have very well educated, well-to-do families who have their children, who have members of the family converting to Christianity. And these are Dalit Sikhs we're talking about. What is the lure? What is the bait that they are given? Oh, we'll give you a job in Canada. We'll give you the educational support you require to move outside the country for better prospects. Now, this is lurement. This is fraudulent conversion to Christianity. But this is happening in Punjab. There is another angle to it. Now, a Dalit Sikh who has a lot of benefits guaranteed to him or her by the state and the center converts to Christianity. So on paper, he's a Christian. So he shouldn't be availing those benefits that are meant for the marginalized communities. But what happens is they convert also while availing the benefits of the community they previously belonged to. Now, that's also incorrect. Correct? So all in all, on paper, the population of Christians in Punjab is perhaps 0.1 or 0.2%. But on reality, on the ground, it's crossed 8 to 9%. So this is the first problem. Number two, you have to look at conversion as per the region. And this is where it becomes important for the states to formulate a very strong law. Not saying that the center shouldn't formulate a law, but the conversions that happen in Assam are very different from those that happen in Kerala. And that are very different from what happens in Punjab. And what we saw in UP, the law that came in on forced conversion, what many called love jihad or whatever, that is very different. So at some point, we also have to understand that conversions differ from region to region. The entire financial ecosystem, the people involved on the ground, the missionaries, that's all very different. Anusha, we all have seen the videos that keep coming up on our feeds on social media networks. There are some converts who promised spiritual treatment.
Yeah.
And people are falling on the ground and doing whatnot. It's absurd, but that's the truth. These kind of things need to be hunted. But the truth, honestly, Anushka, is there is lots of money. There are a lot of people. It's an entire ecosystem that's going on. That needs to be curbed. And that is why a center law is important.
I want to, address this issue head on. And instead, let me ask this question to Mazar Sharif, who's joining us on the broadcast from AIMIM. Mazhar Saab, in that petition which has been filed before the Supreme Court of India, there are various points that have been made. I am not going into the merits of the word quote-unquote love jihad, but the conversions from the majority community, from the Hindu community to Islam or Christianity are not a new phenomena. They have happened for centuries. The argument is that these conversions in independent democratic India are not happening because of free will. These conversions are happening because there is a systematic program going on to somehow change the demography of India, and hence it's a threat. It's a kind of a national threat that we should all be really careful of. That's an argument which is being raised, and I want you to address this argument head on. Mazhar sir.
See, first of all, let me come to you. Let me be very clear in this thing. First of all, the government, what they have given a petition, I think first they need to look into, first they are violently violation of Article 14, 21 and 25. Okay, one thing. Secondly, today, more than conversion, one case happens, the total diversion of the country, center government, state government, diverts to one place where they can, they deliberately wanted an issue, to make people, take into a different level. Here today, what is required? Conversion. Forced conversion is a wrong thing, and everybody knows that. And for that, there is no bill is required, because already there is a law of the country, is the law of the land is there.
नहीं, पर एक सवाल है मज़ार साहब, एक सवाल है जो मैंने स्टार्टिंग में अब्बास साहब से भी पूछा था, उसका जवाब मुझे नहीं मिला, फिर से पूछती हूँ मैं कि अगर कन्वर्जन किसी मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट के लिए, पैसे के लिए, बेहतर शिक्षा के लिए, बेहतर जीवन के लिए, या कहा जाए कि आपका किसी तरीके से कोई स्पिरिचुअल एलिवेशन हो जाएगा, उसके लिए किया जाए, तो क्या इन सारे टेनेट्स पे किसी भी तरीके का स्पिरिचुअल एलिवेशन, इज दैट जस्टिफाइड? शुड दैट नॉट कम अंडर द डेफिनेशन ऑफ allurement, sir?
Correct. Ma'am, you need to understand one thing. Why this is happening? If somebody is offering you education, money, or anything to convert, okay, first of all, here the failure of the government come first. The failure of the government, because the government is failed to give the basic necessity. Today, the education, or whether it is the jobs, government, if they have to bring a bill, they have to bring a bill
so,
for
sir,
the false formation
wherever in a democracy like India or in a big country like India, and I 200% agree with you that there is so much more to be done when it comes to social upliftment, but that doesn't mean that if there are gaps and lacunas, they would be exploited by certain segments. The key point which is being made here is that because there are gaps and lacuna, they are being exploited by certain segments.
I'll give you the example for that. Why the Majoritarians converting into Islam or Christianity? The first reason is not money or education. The first reason is equality. In Majoritarians, Dalits never got their equality. They converted. The first reason is equality here.
So then,
before you get into
financial
things and education
so then why is
equality,
it that they are
equality?
seeking reservations for SC and ST community?
Even
that issue is pending before the court.
No, ma'am. Even today, you have reported, in your channel, people have reported how many cases happening against the Dalits, SCs. You have seen. Even today, they have been suppressed.
Okay.
People, they are still been treated as lower citizens.
You have not answered my question.
For them.
No, Vikram Singh ji, I want you to come into the discussion. There are various points that have been raised, and it's being argued that because religions like Islam and Christianity do not have the concept of caste, which I believe is not intrinsic to the faith of Hinduism, but it exists in society, that's the reason that people convert to these faiths. It's not because of allurement. Answer that, sir. Vikram sir.
My previous speaker said that the Dalits and the fight between the Dalits and other Hindus. But he's saying about the fight of any Muslim and Dalit, fight of any Christian and Dalit. So it's the level of conversion, it's the root cause of conversion. Actually, the root cause of conversion is a conspiracy against the Hindus, the majorities. Who said that there is no division between the other religions? There are OBCs in the Muslims, general in the Muslims. Then why they don't convert into the other religion?
They are treated equally.
नहीं, मगर मजार साहब ये बात तो सच है कि भले ही इस्लाम में एज अ टेनेट, एज अ प्रिंसिपल इन द होली बुक कास्ट की कहीं बात ही नहीं है, लेकिन साउथ एशिया में व्हेन इट कम्स टू इस्लामिक रिलीजन देयर आर कास्ट व्हिच आर वेरी वेल नोन इवन विद इन द मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी. देयर आर SC and ST communities which are now seeking recognition that though they have converted they continue to be deprived. So you can't say that in Islam and Christianity there are no castes that exist.
No, you need to understand one thing. Are any Muslim is avoided to come to masjid? They are allowed to come to masjid irrespective of the caste system. They are allowed to come to masjid. They are not denied. They are not be treated like slaves.
नहीं, आप तो ऐसे कह रहे हैं कि
understand this.
अदर्स की आप बात कैसे कर रहे हैं?
Others की? What you are talking?
आपके यहाँ तो
conspiracy. You are talking about conspiracy.
कितने गांवों में जाएंगे जहाँ दलित जा रहे हैं?
कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
हजार गांवों में दलित गांव के मंदिर में जाते हैं. आपने कितनी स्टडी करी है?
कितने गांव हैं? How many
देखिए,
how many numbers you have? The president himself, the ex-president was holding. Everybody is aware of it.
दूसरे धर्म के बारे में नहीं, आप दूसरे धर्म के बारे में केवल
अच्छा एक बार में प्लीज एक ही इंसान. विक्रम साहब आप पहले अपनी बात बोलिए. विक्रम जी आप पहले अपनी बात बोलिए. मजार साहब मैं आपके पास आऊंगी.
Told to not to go inside the temple.
जी,
Ever you have heard
जो बार बार ये बात कही जा रही है दलित के बारे में, मैं बहुत स्पष्ट करना चाह रहा हूं. जो भी संत हैं,
बोलिए
जाने कितने संत दलित हैं, और अगर जिनका जन्म दलित परिवार में हुआ, अगर वो संत हैं किसी भी परिवार में आते हैं,
बात पूरी करने दीजिए मजार जी, उनको बात पूरी करने दीजिए. बात पूरी करने दीजिए उन्हें. बात पूरी करने दीजिए. हाँ बोलिए.
जो संत हैं वो किसी भी जाति के हैं, और शायद बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ नहीं जानते हैं कि सभी जातियों से संत निकले हुए हैं. इसी हिंदू धर्म में रविदास जी भी हुए, जिनकी शिष्या मीराबाई हुई, जो राज परिवार से थी. उसका उदाहरण तो नहीं देते. ये तो दलित की बात कर रहे हैं. अभी जाने कितने संत हैं जो दलित समाज से हैं, जिनकी कोई जाति
और आप हिंदू धर्म में किसी भी तीर्थ स्थल पर चले जाइए, चाहे आप किसी भी मंदिर में चले जाएं, ऐसा कभी होगा नहीं कि आपसे आपकी जात पूछ के आपको मंदिर के अंदर जाने से रोका जाएगा. सामाजिक कुरीतियां हैं जो चलती आ रही हैं, उनका मुझे नहीं लगता उसके ऊपर एक ब्लैंकेट स्टेटमेंट पास किया जाना चाहिए. Tushar, you want to make in a point? Please come in.
2 points, Anusha. 2 points.
Yeah.
2 misconceptions I want to clear out. एक second. पहली चीज तो, और ये जानना सब, it's important for everyone to know that if the center, a big if, the center does bring in a law against forced conversion, that does not stop you or me or Abbas or Vikramji here from converting from religion A to B. That's the first point. Number 2. Someone on this panel was talking about equality, that the Dalits convert because they want better equality, better respect socially and all that. Why do we have the battle then of the Dalits who convert to Islam or Christianity still fighting for the benefits? Just 2 weeks ago, Anushka, 2 or rather 3 weeks ago, the Supreme Court made it clear that the Dalits who have converted to Christianity or Islam cannot avail the benefits that are meant for SCs and STs.
Yeah,
but if the equality argument was right, which Mr. Abbas is making, this problem wouldn't have come. So at the end of the day, you cannot make this excuse, oh, the Dalits are converted.
Well, I think
there is
if the
better
discussion
equality
goes
on the other
into
side.
the
That is
terrain
not
of which
how it
religion
works.
treats the marginalized group better than the others, so I guess the answer would be none. Because the Dalits, the SCs and STs continue to be adversely affected, and yes, there's a lot that needs to be done. That said, there's still a law that is needed in this country, perhaps at the national level, to ensure that forced conversions through allurement do not happen. That's all the time that I have. Abbas Haidar, Mazar Sharif, Ashwini Dubey, Tushar Gupta and Vikram Singh. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. We are shifting our focus to a piece of breaking news. And this pertains to the Shraddha murder case. The prime accused, Aftab, his van has been attacked by the fringe groups. And this is outside the FSL, the laboratory where he was taken for certain tests. Now, who are the groups that have attacked this van? What exactly transpired there? We'll try and get you more details. Let's try and listen in to these visuals and reactions coming.
अगली बार इसको गोलियों से काट देंगे, इसके इतने टुकड़े करेंगे। आपने मारा क्यों है अपनी तरफ से? ये हमारे बहन के लोड़े को काटेंगे, लड़की के साथ गलत किया है। छोड़ दिया जा रहे। अगली बार इनको
All right, my colleague Anshul continues to get us a ground report on the story. Let's go to that.
Today is the day 4th of Today is day 4th of Aftab's polygraph test. He was questioned in the FSL office for more than 8 hours today. If you could see in the visuals over here, these are the officials of Delhi Police who are now taking Aftab from the FSL office to Tihar jail, where he has been lodged in judicial custody. What we are being told at this point in time, that the questioning went on from morning 11 a.m. to evening 7 p.m. We are bringing you this exclusive visuals on CNN News 18, where you can see Aftab is being brought out. Aftab is being brought out from the as of now. You can see there are people who have started running behind the vehicle as of now. There is absolute chaos outside the FSL office. You could see over here, the people have started running. People have started running behind the vehicle of Aftab. They have attacked the vehicle in which Aftab was going.
अरे कल दो बेटियों के बाप हम भी है तलवार हम खरीद के लिए गुरुद्वार से
We are bringing you more visuals. There is absolute chaos outside the FSL office. If you can see over here, there is Aftab's vehicle has been stopped by the public, and there massive drama happening outside the FSL office. If you could see in the visuals over here, people have stopped the vehicle over here. They have started attacking the police vehicle. Aftab is still inside this vehicle. He was there. People have get the situation under control, but yes, people have started running behind the vehicle of Aftab. So, if you could see over here, the vehicle is now at a red light, and there could be more chaos that we could expect over here in the next few minutes. हाँ
लाइव भी उठाएगा शॉट मिल गया ड्राइवर को वो लाइव भी उठाएगा वही बड़ा है.
All right, so you can see people running behind that van with swords in their hands, and clearly these are some vigilante groups who have crossed the line. We could hear them abusing. We could hear them chanting slogans. Some of them said that they were deeply disturbed by the manner in which reportedly Aftab killed Shraddha, and they identify with the case. But yes, a very serious incident that has happened. I want to cut across to my colleague Anshul. Anshul, narrate for our viewers what happened outside the FSL.
Anusha, absolute drama that has broken outside the FSL office. I'll just try and show you in the visuals. This was the car in which a handful of people came here with swords. The car is still on. They blocked the road. They blocked the main gate of the FSL, and as soon as the vehicle in which Aftab was being carried out by the Delhi police, they stopped the vehicle right in front of that. They got out of this vehicle and they started throwing swords at the vehicle in which Aftab was there, and they were absolutely angry, and they were saying that the manner in which Aftab has done what Aftab has done to Shraddha, that is absolutely unacceptable, and the Delhi police has to make sure that situation should stay under control, because remember, there were not many security officials who were at that point in time with Aftab, because remember, the 3rd battalion of the police is responsible for actually taking the prisoner from the prison to the FSL, or from the prison to the courts, and there were only 3 to 4 police officials who were present inside that vehicle at that point in time, and at that exact point there were 4 to 5 people who came here wielding swords. They started attacking the vehicle with swords, and if I could just show you in the visuals, the vehicle went in this direction, and these people started running behind the vehicles, and when the vehicle did not stop, they started throwing their swords at the vehicle. And once the vehicle stopped at a red light, one of the protesters even went on and opened the gates of that vehicle. However, the police had to keep the situation in control, and hence they wielded their weapons as well. The police also had to take out their handgun, which I will try to show in the visuals in some time from now. The police actually had to pull out their handgun to keep the situation under control. Also, a police official came out with a AK-47 as well. So yes, the police was actually trying to keep the situation under control. But if you could see, this is the car in which all these people came over here. The police is still trying to figure out who were these people. And as soon as the entire situation happened, there is some recovery that is still being made from this vehicle. If you could see, there at least 4 to 5
Anshul, who were these
had
people?
come
Do we know? Did the police arrest
4 to 5
anyone?
people.
Did the police arrest anyone?
Not as of now. None. Not as of now, no one has been arrested as of now, but yes, there were 3 to 4 people. These one of those people, I could recognize one of those people because they were lingering around in this area since morning, and they were hence waiting for this vehicle of Aftab to come out. And as soon as the vehicle of Aftab came out, the Delhi police van came out, they stopped the vehicle right in front of that vehicle in which Aftab was there, and they started wielding swords at it. So yes,
what did they claim? You spoke to them.
Security chaos.
What did they say? Which group do they belong to? Why are they there? What is their motive? What did they say?
They did not claim that they belong to any group whatsoever, but yes, they were saying that the manner in which Aftab has conducted the entire thing and the manner in which he has killed Shraddha is something that is very, very wrong. And if you could see in the visuals over here, there is a hammer also that is still inside the car. So yes, these people actually came over here very prepared. And also I spoke to one of the person who was lingering around over here since morning, and he was definitely drunk. He was in an inebriated state, and this is what I can confirm, because yes, the police officials were trying to keep him away because there was a massive media presence, and because of the cameras that were present over here, there were a lot of people who were standing there as bystanders. But there was this
Anshul,
one person
what is
who was
the reason that the
continuously
police did not
arguing,
arrest any of them? Tell me that, because I can see the police is very close to all of these people. In fact, there is a person who's wielding a sword, and there's a police officer who's trying to stop him. I can see a lot of cameras also there. But the police could have at least apprehended these people. Why didn't they apprehend them? What did the police say? Did they say, speak or anything about it?
So there were not many police officials present at this point in time in the FSL. There were only 3 to 4 police officials who were present inside the van in which Aftab was being taken. Their main responsibility, because hence since they belong to the 3rd Battalion of the police, their main responsibility was to take Aftab safely from the FSL to Tihar Jail. And hence when the attack happened, one of the police officials even stepped out, took out his handgun, and was almost about to take a air shot as well. So yes, the police was trying to keep the situation under control. They were trying to fulfill their responsibility at this point in time, that they should take Aftab back seriously. However, there were not many police officials present at that point in time, and if you could see these people who were chasing Aftab's vehicle, they continuously kept on chasing it, and even it stopped at a red light at one point in time. But yes, still they weren't able to get anything. I'll just try and show you a few pictures if at all possible. There is a hammer also, so they came fully prepared. They knew what they were doing, they knew what needs to be done, and hence they came fully prepared, not only with swords but also with things like hammers, and they started hurling abuses not only at the Delhi police but also at Aftab. And yes, the situation